We're now beginning the start of Unit 1, Lesson 1, Part 3. Reflect, what have you learned so far? Think about everything we've covered up to this point, and just, think about what has come together, the connections that have been made in your mind, the thoughts that you have on the JROTC and the JCC program. So, what was it that you learned about the mission of JCC? If someone were to ask you, why on earth are you taking a JCC class, what would you say to them? You may have already had some people ask you, why are you doing that military class? So what would you say if they asked you about it? Right. Thinking about that, we do need to be in a place as leaders where we may have to deal with controversial groups, or may have to deal with people who have different beliefs than us. And that is perfectly okay for people to have different beliefs. But how do you interact with them? How, if you needed to, as a leader, how would you defend those things that you may or may not agree with? And it's important to think about because we set the example. Alright, so I want you to click on the link to watch this video and we will go on from there. Alright, so a friend of yours tells you that citizenship can't be developed in a classroom. She believes that people learn citizenship skills from their families. Which of the following answers would you use to best demonstrate your citizenship skills and to best explain how the Fort Worth ISD JCC program develops citizenship? Give you a second to read those. If you selected B, you would be correct. So while our families do set the foundation, it is really aspects of the JROTC and JCC program that expose us to the community and community service and those projects that help really formalize our concepts of what good citizenship is. Alright, so in Part 1, we did the first half of this chart, the KWH. And so now we're going to do the second part, which will be LAQ. So click on the link and let's go ahead and complete that chart. When you're done, come on back. So what else can you do with what you've learned today? What information have you received that can help you achieve your goals? We were talking about on our identity card, what goals do we have for this year? So what about the lesson that we've had in looking at becoming a better citizen can you apply to yourself that's going to help you get where it is that you want to get to? All right, so I want you to look at this chart, and we're going to look at how JROTC and JCC can affect your success goals using a multi-flow map. When you use a multi-flow map, we start with an event in the middle of the page. So the event in the middle of the page is actually going to be maybe your goals. Right? On the left-hand side, you're going to write down the cause of, or why it occurred, or why you came up with those goals. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do that, as it says here, you put a box around this and you draw an arrow to the event. You do it for as many times as you need to. And then the next step is on the right-hand side, write down how that event might impact it. So so you're going to keep filling all this stuff out. What I want you to do is you're going to click on a link to watch a video about multi-flow maps, and then I'm going to have you click on another link to open up a multi-flow map that you will complete and submit through Google Classroom. So go ahead, click on those, watch the video, do the multi-flow map, and then come on back. All right, So we have reached the end of Unit 1, Lesson 1, Part 3. We'll be moving into Unit 1, Lesson 1, Part 4. And so that'll conclude Unit 1, Lesson 1. And then starting next week, we'll be looking at Unit 1, Lesson 2. Again, like we reflected before, I want you to think about what what did you learn? Why is it important? How are you going to apply that to the JCC class and your other classes? Because everything we do builds upon itself and is something that we can apply in multiple locations. All right. Have a fantastic day.